What is going on, guys? Sid here with another installment of Spooky Season Special Spooky Warmups, guys. We're jumping back into Splatterhouse, guys, and guys, where do I begin? Okay, so a couple months ago, I had told you guys I was prepping for like wedding season and all of the other activities that I had to get done. And guys, you ever play The Sims? Right? You know, like when certain bars go like into like danger territory. Well, guys, I kind of need a hard reset, a hard reset, because I epically bombed wedding season, guys. I'm 40 freaking pounds overweight. My metabolism is non-existent right now, right? And it's probably because Occam's razor here. Probably because I'm sitting my behind down a little too often, grinding too many games, right? And my habits and my diet is not as clean as it could be. And guys, we all know when we get older and our metabolism starts slowing down, we gotta be much more disciplined. So anyway, guys, yeah, I dropped the bomb. I dropped the bomb big time, right? So in any case, yeah, guys, I'm due for a hard reset, like right now, like a really hard reset. So I need to take a step back from the channel just temporarily, right? I need like a vacation, like an actual vacation, right? Where I'm not guilt-tripping myself into not making an episode, right? So I really do need to go catch up in other aspects of life, right? So yeah. So I'm gonna start the hard reset like probably this week, right? And I'll probably be back when I'm 40 pounds lighter and a little healthier, right? Going forward, right? Because I've literally fallen off a cliff, and yesterday was kind of like the day where I'm just like taking inventory, and I was like taking inventory, and I was just like, yeah. So anyway, guys, we were in Splatterhouse, right? We were in Splatterhouse, and I had like briefly touched the game. Then we switched over to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. There we go, right? So, but I really like Splatterhouse, like the original. I really like the game. I absolutely enjoy the game, right? In terms of like retro vibes, nostalgia vibes, right? Classic gaming vibes. This game kind of like hits the nail on the head, right? Especially if you're not from that generation, right? It's a game that you probably overlook, right? And it's just a hint. It's like a literal hint to the 80s slashers, right? And it's so cool. It's so freaking cool. Even though it's not Jason, it's just going to pop up in everyone's head that it's Jason, right? It's not Jason, right? But that's not even the point. The game is just really good. It's really freaking good for like a vintage game, for like a retro game of that time period. This game is like a gem, right? So in any case, what I'm going to tell you about the game, like any of these games, right, from this era, right? It's like about pattern recognition. Like all games are, but you have to memorize the patterns. You have to memorize when to jump. You have to time everything carefully, right? And I just got up today, and I only had one thing in mind: just defeat Biggy Man. That's it. I didn't want to beat the game, right? I actually want to like savor the game a little, and I'm probably going to savor the game a little, right? In my spare time, right? It's just one of those games where it's like cheap. It's a classic, and you know, like it's cheap for some, right? It's not cheap for all, but you know what I mean, right? If you're on the PlayStation Network, it's a quick download, right? It's an easy download, and if you're not from that time period, right, it's probably the best of one of the better ones from that time period, right? It certainly does seem that way. So in any case, I got up to the poltergeist room and I started making you know, some errors here and there, right? So did I mind? No, not at all, right? I kind of like memorized all the movements, right, to a good extent, but didn't really play the game too much. Like I'm telling you guys, I have fallen behind in life, and it's not fun right now. It's really not fun. Like I'm playing the game, but like internally, like you know, like those memes where you're like crying on the inside, like all of those memes. It's probably closer to that. How I'm like dealing with life right now. No, sorta, not really, but you get the point, right? You can't. like life will never be perfect. So there's the long and short of that, right? So yeah, there you go. But guys, we're jumping through the stages, and I'm venting hardcore. No, but in reality, look, I'm taking care of my mom, so that's good times, right? My cousin had another baby. Didn't get to see the baby yet, right? So yeah, I've gotta like visit my cousins, right? Another cousin had a wedding. My sister's childhood friend had a wedding. Guys, everyone's growing up. Everyone in my corner, they're growing up, and I'm missing out. Like, you know, like the social bar in The Sims? That's what I was alluding to, right? So, I've gotta like spend more time, you know, like how everyone has their like checklist of priorities and stuff like that. Guys, I've gotta find a way to make more time for my social life and the people in my social circles, right? And I have a lot of different like social circles, and it sometimes it gets frustrating when you don't see people that you want to see, right? And you know, like, guys, we're playing the games, we're enjoying the games. That's a big priority for me, right? Like the difficulty level of games, not so much these days, right? Probably when I was like younger, I'd take the hardcore difficulty. These days, it's just, you know, you want the experience. You want the experience. You want to share the experience. You want to share the emotions that you're going through as you're playing the game, right? And yeah, so Splatterhouse, kind of like for the horror community, like the little, we talk about the little micro communities on this channel, right? So there's the fighting community, the sports communities, right? In terms of like gaming, the horror community. This segues perfectly into the horror film community, right? So Splatterhouse is right there, right? For Halloween sakes, right? It kind of like puts you in the correct fall, kind of like seasonal vibes, right? And that's like I'm like full obsessed, if you haven't realized, right? It's definitely the colors. It's definitely the aesthetics, right, of the whole situation. And you'd be surprised, there's a lot of like actresses and actors that are like full obsessed too, and you wouldn't, like, I'm not naming anyone, but yeah. But they're so cool, they're super cool, right? Because you think you're like the only one with like these like weird obsessions, these like weird little obsessions, and you'd be surprised, right? Some of them are just like us, right? Yeah. Everyone has to anchor to something, is what I'm alluding to there, right? You anchor to something, right? You anchor like life's full of ups and downs, right? So you anchor yourself to something. You say, okay, we have this to look forward to, we have that to look forward to. And that kind of helps keep you sane, right? When you start thinking about life like that. But anyway, we're not here for life lessons. We're here to play Splatterhouse, right? And the only thing I really wanted to do was defeat Biggy Man, right? And it was actually really simple, right? So you gotta pick up the rock, right? And you gotta cycle through, right? You gotta save the ammo because you need at least 10 shotgun shells worth of ammo to defeat him comfortably, right? So then we get up to this stage. Now I'm looking at this stage, and I'm just like, man, you gotta time so many movements, but the game is so fun, right? But we've set out to do what we wanted to do in this video, right? We returned to Splatterhouse for round 2, and yeah, it was easy, right? It was easy because obviously there's a lot of memorization that happened, right? That's literally all the game is, right? You don't really have to use too much of your brain cells. You just have to make sure you're playing at the highest tempo possible, right? Yeah, but there's a couple of moves that I'm still struggling with, right? I don't know if it's the port or me, right? It's probably me because I've pulled it off a couple times, but I'm not pulling it off consistently. So, the main character, he has this kind of sliding kick that he does. The aerial, it's like a drop kick kind of deal. And you're gonna see this enemy right here on the screen pull it off much cleaner than I can. So I believe we're coming up on it, right? So this is where I currently am. I'm currently at in Splatterhouse, right? So I think he pulls off the drop kick. Should be, yeah. right? So, and he slides on the floor, right? So that move is probably the most effective move in my character's arsenal, right? So yeah, I'm trying right there to pull off the move, and I can't pull off the move. You gotta time it correctly, from what I understand, right? I've like read up on it, right? But for some reason, I'm finding it way more difficult. But maybe I've gotta like go through like a lot of like tutorials and stuff like that, and I haven't found the time. Excuse me, I have not found the time. I burped. But yeah, guys, I'm like 40 pounds overweight, 40. So accountability time, right? Having too much of a good time. And now it is time for me to say goodbye, right? Shortly, right? And take a break off from the channel for a little bit, right? Until I get my ducks back in a row. So guys, Sid with a short break. Peace, love, all the blessings to you and yours. Guys, enjoy FIFA, enjoy whatever game you're playing. Peace, love, all the blessings to you and yours. Subscribe if you are new.